First thing that you got to do is MM. And no, I'm not talking about the minority mindset, although you do have to have the right mindset before you can do anything. But this MM I'm referring to is monitoring your money, because what happens to the majority of people is you make money. So you have an income, then you pay your taxes, you spend, and then you wonder where all your money went. This is what the financial statement looks like for the vast majority of people, but you have to break this if you want any chance at becoming wealthy. So the first thing that I want you to do is pull out a piece of paper, use an Excel sheet, use Google Sheets, doesn't matter what you use, but you need to understand where your money is going. So at the very top, write down how much money you're making every month. Just look at your last month's statement, write down how much money you made, and then I want you to write where every penny went. So write all of your expenses. How much is your rent? How much is your mortgage? How much are your property taxes? How much was your car payment if you had one? How much did you spend on gas? How much did you spend on groceries? How much did you spend on flights? How much money did you give away? How much did you buy on other random stuff, restaurants? You write all this down, and then you should see where all your money went. Write down how much money you invested, if any. Write down how much money you put towards savings, if any. And then you'll see where all your money went. And now we can work towards actually changing the way that your money works. Because the first thing that's going to happen is you're going to realize, oh my God, I spent so much money on subscriptions that I don't even use. I spent so much money on this thing that I don't even use. Now you can immediately cut those things out, because if you're spending money on something that you're not using, get rid of it. Because right now in this first stage, you have to create margin. Meaning you need a difference. You need a spread between how much money you're making and how much money you're spending. If you are spending every dollar that you bring in, it is going to be impossible for you to build any sort of wealth, because anytime you make money, you're spending this money, meaning you're working to make everybody else around you rich. Anytime you get paid, you're making your landlord richer, you're making the banker richer, you're making a car company richer, you're making Gucci richer, you're making Lululemon richer, you're making these other companies richer. However, you have no money left to make yourself richer, which means the very first thing that you got to do is cut out the unnecessary expenses. Second, once you cut out the unnecessary expenses, that's when you start downsizing on the necessary expenses. Yes, you need a car, but do you really need that BMW that you have right now? You can start downsizing on the expenses that you have right now, and there's a two-part plan to do that. First is selling the things that you don't need. If you have a fancy car, if you have a big home, if you have things that you don't need or can't afford right now, start selling them, because you need this cash in order to be able to actually build this wealth. So just look around you. Look around you in your apartment, in your home, see what things are just collecting dust that you're not using, that are just sitting there taking up space. Put it on Facebook Marketplace, put it on Craigslist, put it on eBay, put it on Amazon, sell it. Get the cash, turn that dust into cash, and now you no longer have this item that you don't need, but you have some cash. Now look at your car. If you are financing a car that you cannot afford, you got to get rid of it. Financing a car means that you're paying interest on something that's losing value. If you buy a car for $20,000, well, guess what? The brand new car for 20 grand is going to be worth 16 grand as soon as you drive it off the lot, and then you're going to be paying interest each and every year that the car is losing value. So if you have a car payment that you're financing, well, you might want to consider selling that car and then buying a car that you can afford with cash in good working condition that doesn't need a lot of maintenance. The reason why this is so important is because if you could take $500 a month, and instead of using this money to make somebody else richer, instead of making your car company richer, you invested this money. And you invested this money, let's just say in the stock market. And you could do a general 7% average return on your money. So we're not talking about a great return, we're talking about a below average return on your money. And you do this for 45 years. I know that's a long time, but if you do this consistently, you take this $500, you don't pay the car company, you're not paying a banker, you're putting this money to work for yourself. Well, guess what? By the time you retire, you're going to have almost $2 million sitting there. If you spend this $500 a month on your car instead, guess what? By the time you retire, you're going to have a piece of junk that still needs maintenance, that needs more work, and you're just going to be flipping car after car after car. Versus now, if you sacrifice the car, you drive a beat up car that drives in good working condition, well, guess what? Now you take this payment, the monthly payment that you're paying to the car company, put it to work for yourself. That way you can build real wealth for yourself. So the first thing you want to do now, you want to monitor your money, sell off things that you don't need, and then start downsizing. Hey, if you have a big apartment, you have a big home, this could be an opportunity for you to move a little bit smaller. And I know this can be hard to do when you're in this weird economic time that we're in right now. However, this is where you really want to consider what sacrifices that you're willing to make, because the sacrifice that you're willing to make today can help you live a more comfortable life tomorrow, right? The whole idea is right now you want to live uncomfortable so you can be more comfortable tomorrow. It's that sacrifice for that delayed gratification for a bigger and freer lifestyle in the future. The kind of funny and ironic thing is the people that are going out of their way to buy nice things like name brand cars, name brand clothes, the Gucci, the Louis Vuitton. These aren't the wealthy millionaires and billionaires that are going out of their way to buy these name brand things. It's the people that want to look rich. It's the people that don't have any money, that are not going out of their way, that are struggling, that are going thin, that are going into debt, that are financing the name brand cars, the name brand clothes. That way they can look rich, but these things that make you look rich are the things that are actually keeping you broke. When you're successful, you don't really care about the name brand because you know you're successful. You already have the confidence. You already know you made it. You don't have to go out and buy a name brand thing just to show off that you made it. If you want something nice and name brand, you can buy it, but you're buying it because you like it, not because you want to show off. Because when you're a millionaire, when you become successful, when you become wealthy, you want to live quieter. You don't want to attract that attention. The people that are doing it are the people that want to act and look like they made it. After you do MM, it's time for II, which in this case is increasing your income. And this is more important to do this after you cut your expenses, because what happens to the majority of people is if you ask the majority of people right now, what is causing you your financial problems? Every single person will say it's the amount of money that I'm making. I'm not making enough money. If I just made more money, then all my financial problems would get better. But if that was really the case, why is it that so many lottery winners end up broke or bankrupt within just the first 5 years of winning the lottery? Why do so many high-income NFL players end up broke or bankrupt after just 5 years? Why do so many NBA players end up broke or bankrupt after just a few years? Why do so many trust fund kids lose all their money after getting this big sum of cash? It's because if you make more money without knowing how to use that money, the majority of people will end up losing that money. This is why you have to understand how to use your money before earning more money has more value. So we talked about how to use your money in the first thing. Now we're talking about how to earn more money, because now if you earn more money, you're going to understand what you want to do with that money. And the whole goal here, going back to what I said earlier, is building that margin. You want to have that margin between how much money you make and how much money you spend. That way you have the extra cash to put to work to make you wealthy, because wealthy people become wealthy and stay wealthy not by spending all their money, not by saving all their money, but by investing their money. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the shorter clip from the longer videos, here's another clip that I think you'll love. And if you're interested in learning more about how to invest your money in the stock market, our team put together an amazing guide that will walk you through how to invest your money in the stock market, what the stock market is, different stock market strategies, and how to build wealth in the stock market. This guide is completely free when you sign up for our daily newsletter. So if you want to read this guide, all you got to do is click that button right over there. Thank you for watching, and as always, keep hustling.